Hello, my name is David and welcome to today's English tutorial. In today's English tutorial, we'll be looking at English past questions and we are focusing on the exam SAT. Alright, so I have prepared for you and selected properly 30 of the top SAT English questions that you're likely to face in this year's test. So let's go over them. Okay, now English practice questions for SAT. We have question 1. This question is taken from a passage, it's an excerpt. An excerpt means a cut, a little cut from the passage. It says, Lily Taylor uses resources as plants and vegetables from where she lives in Arizona to make dyes for wool. Question, what is the central idea of the passage? Then we have the options. We have A, reds and brown are unusual colors in Taylor's rugs. Taylor's dyes are made from synthetic materials. C. Taylor utilizes local resources to create natural dyes for her wool. And D. Taylor imports dyes from other regions. Now let's go back to the question, okay, or the excerpt, which is Lily Taylor uses resources such as plants and vegetables from where she lives in Arizona to make dyes for wool. What do you think is the answer? I give you 5 seconds to pick the answer. Alright, it says, what's the central idea of the passage? And the central idea of this passage here would be C. Taylor utilizes local resources. Plants and vegetables are local resources from where from passage, lessons and structure, all kinds, okay, ranging the top SAT questions that will often come out for English, SAT English exams. So feel free to master them, okay, and before I say the answer, you can actually try the answer in the option or state the answer in the comment section, and then you would probably score yourself at the end of the lesson. Alright, so Bani Sadri's work is influenced by the chaos of war and the complexities of human emotions. Question, what influences Bani Sadri's artwork? So Bani Sadri's is the name of a male. So it lets us know that Bani Sadri's work, artwork, is influenced by the chaos of war and the complexities of human emotion. So what is influencing his art history? We have the simplicity of rural life, the chaos of war and complex emotions, technological advancement, classical music. We can see the answer clearly, all right? The chaos of war and the complexity of human emotions. So the answer there would be B, right? Good. If you want to see more, I have little explanation. I will drop the link to a Google Drive where you can access this document and probably do personal study on your own. Note that this is among some of the simplest SAT questions. In the next video I'll be releasing, which would continue from 30 to 60, I will take more complex SAT questions. So you want to hit the like button and subscribe so that by the time I release that video, YouTube will notify you. Question 4, also an excerpt from passage. Julian's 1935 synthesis was a significant advancement in the field of chemistry, demonstrating the potential of plant-based compounds. Question: what was the significance of Julian's 1935 synthesis? A. It showed that synthetic compounds are inferior to natural ones. B. It had no real impact on chemistry. C. It demonstrated the potential of plant-based compounds in chemistry. D. It was a minor experiment with limited applications. Now go back to the question. It says, Julian's 1935 synthesis was a significant advancement in the field of chemistry, demonstrating the potential of plant-based compounds. So what will be the answer there? It will be C. So Julian's work demonstrated the potential of plant-based compounds in chemistry. Moving onward, question number 5. Also an excerpt. We're taking excerpts first. The ablation rate of iron is higher than that of potassium and sodium, affecting the composition of cosmic dust. In order to be able to answer this kind of question, you need to know what the meaning of ablation rate means. An ablation here will mean corrosion, okay, the depletion rate. So the depletion rate, you can swap that for the depletion rate of iron is higher than that of potassium and sodium, affecting the composition of cosmic dust. What does the passage suggest about the ablation or depletion rate of iron? So we have the options. A. It is lower than potassium and sodium. B. It does not affect cosmic dust composition. C. It is higher, influencing cosmic dust composition. And D. It is the same as potassium and sodium. Like we have been using, like the tactics we've been using, you go back again to the excerpt. The ablation rate of iron is higher than that of potassium and sodium is higher. So you can see the answer right there. Affecting the composition of cosmic dust. So our answer will be what? It is higher, influencing cosmic dust composition. Are you still there? Now question 6. Alright. Question 6. Also a passage excerpt. The works of Chicana artist Esther Hernandez are now dashed in museums both in the United States and abroad. But the murals, what are murals? Murals are wall paintings or wall artistry. Okay? But the murals she contributed to as a young artist have largely disappeared, meaning that her paintings on the walls can no longer be found. So question, what choice completes the test with the most logical and precise word or phrase? Now we have moved to sort of fill in the gap question. We have Jerry, scholarly, melodic, exhibited. Now we're talking about artistry. Okay, so this is definitely be exhibition because we're talking about artistry, we're talking about museum. Alright, we're talking about museum and artistry. So that means that is exhibition. Okay, so if you put exhibition in the sentence, it will mean the works of, can you scroll up a little bit, of Chicana artist Esther Hernandez are now exhibited, displayed in museums both in the United States and abroad, or showcased. Good. Now we move to the next question. Question 7, okay. Also an excerpt. Though not closely related, the hedgehog Tenris of Madagascar and the European hedgehog share similar features such as spiny coats and nocturnal habits. What are hedgehogs? One challenge that you would face in English language, especially those of us from non-English speaking countries, or countries like China and the likes, where that's not your native language, is grammar. Alright, and if you don't know some vocabulary or some grammatical words, you will not be able to answer some English questions. So what you need to do as you practice is to always have with you a dictionary so that you can jump in and make reference. If you don't have a dictionary, good, we have Google there for you. So though not closely related, the hedgehog. So hedgehog is an animal. The hedgehog Tenris of Madagascar and the European hedgehog share similar features such as spinal cord. It's trying to just show us similarity between two animals, even though they are not closely related. Question: what is the primary purpose of the sentence? Option A, to Latin. It's just giving us, it's explaining what the dough is. So let's see what best describe that. That will be option A, to describe the material and features of the ancient dough. That's beautiful. Moving onward. Question 9 is a passage excerpt. In the early 20th century, women-authored science fiction often lacked overt political themes, unlike the feminist narratives that emerged in the 1970s. Now, what does the passage suggest about women-authored science fictions in the 1970s? Let's see the options. It was less popular than earlier works. It continues to avoid political themes. It incorporated clear feminist political themes. It focused solely on technological advancement. Let's go back to the question. It says in the early 20th century, women-authored science fictions lacked overt political themes, unlike the feminist narrative that emerged in the 1970s. It was less popular than earlier works. It continued to avoid political themes. C, it incorporated clear feminist political themes. And D, it focused solely on technological advancement. What will be the answer there? Let's look at the passage again. In the early 20th century, women-authored science fiction often lacked overt political themes. So comparison between two fictions. So the answer there will be C. It incorporated clear feminist political themes. Moving onward to question 10. Now, if you have not question, which revision best maintains the sentence structure and clarity? Okay, so please return. So this is a sentence. So we are asked to see, now scroll down, we are asked to see which of these options best describe two things. Scroll back up a little bit, please. Best describe what? Structure and clarity. Now let's go back to the options now. We have Kumar and Epley conducted a study to determine how do people perceive acts of kindness. This looks a little bit awkward. We have Kumar and Epley conducted a study to determine how people perceive acts of kindness. Okay, this sounds clear. Okay, then we have Kumar and Epley conducted a study to determine how acts of kindness are perceived by people. This looks an indirect. Then we have Kumar and Epley conducted a study to determine the perception of acts of kindness by people is a little bit more complex. So the simplest here, all right, is B, that shows clarity and precision. Kumar and Epley conducted a study to determine how people perceive acts of kindness. Even a dummy would understand that. Now the next question, question 11. The recent study reveals that urban green spaces significantly improve mental health among city dwellers. What are urban green spaces? Like park, where you go to relax, relaxation centers like that, especially parks. Okay, what is the primary conclusion of the study? It says parks as that it improves mental health. Is it true? Yes, definitely it's true. So what's the conclusion of the study? Let's see. Urban green spaces have no impact on mental health. No, that's not what it says. City dwellers prefer urban areas without green spaces. Definitely, that's not what it says. Urban green spaces significantly, that's the word, improve mental health. That's what that passage is telling us. So the correct answer here will be what? Option C. Now moving on to question 12. Now we have left passages. Now we are now in vocabulary in context. Let's see passage expert, the excerpt from passage. The scientist's hypothesis was met with skepticism by her peers. Skepticism. What's the meaning of skepticism? Okay, that's doubt. In the context distinctive style led many to suspect the author's identity. What's the meaning of distinctive style? Meaning that the author had a way he or she presented her writings, okay, that was very unique and made people to know that even though this novel was published without a name or a contact attached to it, they could tell that this is connected. Just like you read Shakespeare, you can tell that this is connected to Shakespeare. So what can be inferred about the novel's author? What can we draw? What conclusion can we draw from this passage? A, the author was a well-known public figure. B, the author's writing style was unique. I think that's the answer right there. And recognizable. The author plagiarized the work. What do you mean plagiarized? Copied, duplicated. The author denied writing the novel. Definitely not this. So the author's writing style was unique and recognizable. Very good. Moving on to question number 14. Function. We are taking that from functions. Passage excerpt. To illustrate the effectiveness of the new policy, the mayor cited a 20% decrease in crimes rates. Okay, question. What is the function of the mayor citation in the passage? To illustrate the effectiveness of the new policy. So he has just given a policy. So in order to make people think or feel that his policy is working, he gave a result, like action and reaction, or call a result to an action or result to an occurrence. Okay, to question the validity of the policy, to provide evidence. Good. To provide evidence supporting the policy's effectiveness. So the mayor cited the decrease in crimes rate as an evidence. Oh yeah, my policy is working, right? So the answer there will be B. Every other one is unrelated to the passage or the function of the passage. Now, question 15. Sorry for the typo right there. And we are taking that a passage excerpt The article's sarcastic tone undermines the seriousness of the environmental issue discussed. Sarcastic tone, unserious tone, So, question: how does the author's tone affect the article's message? It enhances the urgency of the environmental issue. It diminishes. Okay, so this is it. Diminishes. It was sarcastic. It was hard to tell that it was serious. So it diminishes the perceived importance of the issue. It confuses the reader about the article intent. Provide a neutral perspective. It diminishes. It reduces the quality of the article or the author. Question 16. The passage excerpt. The ablation rate of iron is higher than that of potassium and sodium, affecting the composition of cosmic dust. Actually, we've taken this before. It's kind of a repetition. Sorry about that. Let's go. I explained before that ablation means corrosion rate, depletion rate. Okay, question 17, please. And then we're taking this now. This passage excerpt is taken from the title, Detail. We're looking at detail, answering questions on detail. The experiment demonstrated that plants exposed to classical music grew faster than those in silence. How interesting. Interesting. Now the question: according to the passage, what was the effect of classical music on plants? You see, every living thing listens. Interesting. A. It had no effect on plant growth. B. It caused plants to wither, to die. C. It accelerated plant growth. D. It hindered plant development. Which is it? Definitely, the context of the passage explains this. It accelerated, right? Yes, it accelerated. The experiment accelerated the growth of the plant than those that were in silence. All right? Moving on, question number 18. This is evidence-based. Passage excerpt. Studies indicate that students who sleep at least 8 hours perform better academically. Alright, question. What evidence supports the claim about sleep and academic performance? Let's see the options. Anecdotal stories from teachers. Is it stories that supports the claim? Statistical data from studies. Opinion from sleep-deprived students. Or hypothetical scenarios? Definitely not. The correct answer here will be what? Statistical data. Studies, you see, it says studies. So by studies, it means data. All right, data. Yes, statistical data from studies indicate that students who sleep at least 8 hours perform better academically. So you need to sleep more. Question 20. Excerpt from the topic purpose or from context purpose in SAT exams. The author recounts her childhood experiences to highlight the challenges faced by immigrant families. What are immigrant families? Families who migrate to a certain place. Okay. What is the author's primary purpose in sharing her childhood experiences? To entertain readers with humorous anecdotes? Definitely not. To criticize immigration policies? Definitely not. To shed light on immigrant family challenges? Yes, she was using her own story to shed light on the challenges that are faced by immigrants. Alright, so the correct answer would be C. And then we go to the next, 21. Okay, from the passage excerpt, the artist's latest exhibition explored themes of identity and transformation, drawing inspiration from a multicultural background. Right? So question, what is the primary focus of the artist's latest exhibition? Which is what? It explores themes of identity and transformation. She's trying to express identity and transformation. Let's look at the options. The impact of technology on art, themes of identity and transformation. That would definitely be the answer. Not historical events of the 20th century, not the evolution of abstract painting. So B would be the correct answer in this question. And then we'll move on to question 22. Now, if you have not yet subscribed to this channel and you stayed this long, it tells us that you enjoy the video we are making, and we would like to see you hit the subscribe button so that when next we release the next one, which, like I said, the next 30 will be coming in a few days, so that, and will be much more complex to this, so that you'll be notified by YouTube and you can ace your test without tears. Now, question 22. Despite initial skepticism, the new policy led to a significant decrease in carbon emission over the first year. Now, the opposite of skepticism will be what? Skepticism will be what? Optimism, right? So, despite initial skepticism, despite initial doubt, the policy led to significant decrease in carbon emission over the first year, which is a good one. So, question: what was the outcome of the new policy? It was met with universal approval? Definitely not, because it told us that what? There was doubts. It had no impact on carbon emission? Definitely not, because it told us that what? There was a decrease in emission. It led to a significant decrease in carbon emission. Correct. So it will be C. It didn't increase carbon emission. Definitely. So correct answer is C. Question 23. We have the excerpt here. The novel protagonist. What is protagonist? Like I said, if you don't know the meaning of some grammatical words, you will not be able to answer English. That is the challenge. Okay, so you need to know what's the meaning of a protagonist. It is the major character in a play, in a book, in a writing. So the novel's protagonist grapples. Tells us that there will be what? Answer. Option B. Onward. Question 24 as we round up. The research team findings challenge the long-held belief that adult brains cannot generate new neurons. Okay, what is the significance of the research team's findings? They challenge the fact that adult brains cannot generate new neurons. So they confirm that adult brains cannot generate new neurons. No, they challenged it, meaning that they fought it. They tried to refute it. Okay, they challenge the belief that adult brain cannot generate new neurons. That seems like it. They suggested that neuron generation is irrelevant. No. They focus solely on child brain development. No. So this would be the correct one. They challenge the belief that adult brain cannot generate new neurons. She was outstanding in the field of forensic science. All right, let's see what it says. Question. Design philosophy emphasizes A. Maximizing urban density. B. Creating contrast with natural surroundings. What's the meaning of contrast? Opposites, okay, differences. C. Harmony between structure and nature. Harmony, that's bringing together, as you can see. The architect design philosophy, his idea was to harmonize structure and their natural surroundings. Make a structure looks like it was created to be there, right? So the answer will be he sought to harmonize structures and nature. Good. And then 29. Unrelated to subatomic particles. C. It provided new insight into subatomic particle behavior. And lastly, it focused on macroscopic physical phenomena. Let's go back. The scientists' groundbreaking research provided new insights. So what would be the answer there? I'm sure you've gotten it already. Provided new insight into subatomic particle behavior. I'm sure you enjoyed this 30 questions as you prepare for your upcoming scholastic assessment test. If you did, make sure you hit the like button, suggesting to us or letting us know that this was a good one. And if you had feedback, maybe I made a mistake, maybe an answer was not the correct one, please indicate in the comment section so that I can make corrections in the next video. And if you enjoyed it, don't forget to share it with a friend and make sure you subscribe. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.